This is the news that most of you have been waiting for. A ton of change here in the month of September. Let's jump into it. Let's talk about the good, the bad, the even. Let's go all into it. First of all, you've seen this in the news, the rate reduction, right? 50 basis points were cut. Now, this doesn't directly impact the mortgage rates. There's no correlation, the direct correlation. However, we do know that the market has already padded in this expectation that the Fed would reduce this, and that was about 2 weeks ago. So we saw interest rates already reduce prior to this announcement. So what does that actually translate into? Well, if you watch our videos about 2 months ago, a month and a half ago, you were seeing that interest rates were as high as 7.1%. Now they're down to an average of 5.6%. That's a huge change, right? About $320 in savings on a $500,000 home. So if you look on the side over here, you see that conventional loans, you're about 5.5% with a point purchased, or about 6% with no points. And that's amazing, again, compared to where we were just a month and a half ago. If you look at jumbo, pause this, look at investors, all of this will impact you. Now, what about the market? Here's another really, really great news. Market is more balanced than it was ever before. And what do I mean by that? Because that's a language I haven't used in a very long time. So let's go into it. We do have about 5 months of inventory. And prior to this month, it was really a heavy buyer's market. But we're looking at a more natural market, more balanced market. So in general, like you can see here, a housing market with 5 to 7 months of supply could be described as balance between buyers and sellers. And that is exactly what we're seeing here in our market. But it depends on the price point. So anywhere up to $500,000, we're seeing that that's a very, very balanced market right now. Anything about 600,000 to about 1 million, you have a lot more competition. That's more of a buyer's market as of this moment. But we'll jump into that more in a moment when we go into the data. But here's another quote from Jacob. Timing of the market is basically impossible. If you're always waiting for the perfect market conditions, you're going to be waiting forever. Buy now only if it's a good idea for you. I love this quote because everyone asks, hey, is it a good time to buy or sell? That really is determining your situation, because it is really impossible to time the market. But if I did have a crystal ball, like I said last month, this would be a fantastic time for a buyer to purchase before a ton of buyers enter the market first quarter of next year. And we expect that to happen because it's going to be more affordable on the monthly payment for interest rates. And when buyers enter the market and there's more demand, your prices go what? They go up. And that's what we expect to occur. So again, if you're a buyer, you want the best deal, you'll want to go ahead and sell now. If you're a seller, understand that we're in that balanced market. Just compared to actually 2017 and 2018, almost identical amount of active homes on the market for sale. So we're just back to pre-pandemic times. Now, here's a really cool thing. If you're a seller, it's really, really important to price the home correctly. I know you've heard this before, but here's more of a chart or graph to help you understand why. So you really want to be right in the middle of these two, right? So if you do price the home undervalued to just not right at the price point that we need to be, then you're going to lose your value, decrease buying power, and it deters potential buyers because they think, something's wrong with it. You're underpricing the home, right? So you don't want to be there. And you don't want to overprice your home because it sits on the market longer. It deters buyers, and the price drop sends the wrong message. When you have all these price drops because you didn't price it right to begin with, buyers think, what's wrong with it, right? They always think condition. They never think you as the seller overpriced to begin with. So talk to us. Make sure that the price you choose is right, depending on the price point you're in, to attract the right buyer. Here's another really, really great quote. Setting an unrealistic high price with the idea that you can come down later just doesn't work in real estate. A home that's overpriced in the beginning tends to stay on the market longer, even after the price is cut, because the buyers think, there's something wrong with it, right? That's just the facts that we see over and over. And that's so critical in the Austin market about how you're pricing it. And then where in the Austin market you are, whether you're in Leander, you're Buda, you're Taylor, it doesn't matter. There's really a strategy that goes about doing this. Let's go into the data. Very important. For new listings, we had a 5.83% decrease. For close price over the original list price ratio, we're at 95%. That means if a seller wanted a $500,000 price point They did not sell it at 500,000. They actually sold 5% lower. And that is a lower decrease than last month because it was 96%. So that means that sellers are giving a little bit more away to the buyer. The median list price is at $470,000. As you can see, that slightly increased from the month before. That's a great sign. And the median close price is at $440,000. And that's leveled off at least over the last few months. When you look at active listings, we have 244. And sold listings, we have 2,683, but we're selling about 400 less per month versus or compared to pre-pandemic. So yes, we are not where we were pre-pandemic, but we are close. So that's not far off. There are 4,235 more active listings on the market, and that's not a 4,700% increase. That's incorrect. It's a 47%, not 4,700 more active units. That would be hilarious if it was that high versus pre-pandemic. We are at 5 months of inventory. That has stabilized over the last few months. That means buyers have more to choose from. Sellers, let's talk about you. First of all, of course, we're in a balanced market. We mentioned that before. Our active listings, as I just mentioned, we are seeing that if you're up to a $500,000 property, then you're in a very balanced market. It's a very normal competition that's out there because it's just like pre-pandemic. So we're back to normal. If you're between the 500,000 and 1 million price point, yes, you definitely have more competition, and 1 million plus, you have even more. It's very heavy with your competition right now. So you're going to expect to have a lower amount sold to buyers. Now, days on market, we're stabilizing between 60 to 90 days. That's how long it's going to take to sell, as long as you're priced correctly. There is 5 months of inventory, so there's going to be competition, but it's normal competition. Interest rates we mentioned before, they have decreased, which is great. And negotiation power, hey, sellers, you have a little bit more now, 55%, and buyers, you have 45%. That is really great to see. We're going in the right direction. Again, balanced. If you have a fair price, you're asking for a fair price, and it's in a great condition, you're going to get sold. It's going to get sold, right? And the selling strategy and marketing, it absolutely must be complete and unique to your area. If not, it's not going to get sold. All right. Buyers, let's talk about you. Q4 will be fantastic in order to pick up a home at a great price before 2025. Just absolutely wonderful because you can refinance your loan in the next 12 months as we see rates reduce. New home interest rates are also fantastic, but the interest rates that they're providing you as incentives, they change every Monday. So these new construction builds, they're not going to be the same across all the builders or even across the whole industry. They're really unique per neighborhood. So if you want to get that good deal, call us. We'll tell you which neighborhoods they are because we literally speak to these builders by phone every single week to understand the changes. The resale interest rates, again, they've reduced 5.875%. Some of them, again, are about 5.6% right now if you have a point. The move-in ready, priced correctly homes are still in multiple offer situations, at least below 500,000, and buyer interest has started to increase. You're going to have more competition moving forward. That's the reality of supply and demand. Sellers are going to also negotiate. You can negotiate with sellers of inspections, repairs. As of Q4, we expect that to start to go away, Q1 of 2025. Homes will be in a better condition compared to the pandemic time. So no longer you should get any kind of janky properties. And the stabilized values, as I mentioned before, that gives all of us confidence. And lastly, anticipate the price increases in 2025. If you have any questions about what we reviewed, or you want to talk about your specific situation, or you're just a past client and you're curious about what's happening in your neighborhood, give us a call. That's what we're here for. All right. See you next month.